The toughest part about starting a service-based business is getting customers. It's the first step that you have to take to build something profitable. People would much rather sit there and do boring work instead of going out there and actually getting clients. Why is this true? Because doing cold outreach is hard. There are an infinite way of getting clients. Every single method works. When you start out, cold outreach is mandatory. Message, knock, call, or email at least 50 people per day. You should be shameless in your approach. You'll get many no's and I'm not interested answers. That's just part of the game. However, you'll get better the more that you do it. On top of your 50 outreaches per day, you should be making helpful content, which is useful for the person that you're targeting. For B2B, it should be long form content onto YouTube and LinkedIn. And then you can actually go ahead and clip this and then put it on your other socials such as Instagram and TikTok as well. YouTube Shorts is also a hidden gem, but people don't really utilize it as much. So the reason that we want to build the content is it builds trust. So we have to make ourselves stand out by making content which builds trust. People don't make buying decisions super easy, and often they do research on you before they decide to take any action. So maybe they're gonna see your ad, and then they're gonna move from your ad and go to your YouTube, and then watch a YouTube video or two and become informed about if they should be able to trust you to buy your stuff or not. So if they go onto your YouTube, there's nothing there, or they search up your name, there's nothing there, their trust is gonna go down, and the likelihood that they're gonna buy from you on the call is a lot less. So if you have trust building content, it's going to help you build authority and become more trustworthy. Are there companies out there that don't have any brand whatsoever and they just scrape a list on LinkedIn and dial 50 guys per day and book meetings? Yeah, sure, that works, and you can grow a business by doing that. But there's no reason as to why we shouldn't make content, because it's a very useful tool that's out there today, and not doing that is going to put us at a disadvantage. So content is absolutely key. The way I like to structure my day these days is content, then outreach, and then client work later in the day. So let's say you make a video like this for an hour, so you sit down, you make it, you edit it, post it, and you cut it up into clips so you're free to post over the course of a week. And after you're done that, you've spent like an hour or two doing that. You spend 2 hours doing outreach. So for example, in those 2 hours, you might dial 50 leads, book some meetings. Then maybe you have a couple calls to do during the day in terms of meetings and things like that. Then in the evening, you can focus on doing client work. So we want to prioritize doing outreach, making content, which is going to put us in front of the business owner and get us more meetings booked and more money in the bank, because that's the lifeline of the business. If you read the book Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi, it's a great book, which how important it is that you have got to get the customer first, right? There's no point in doing boring work if you don't have any customers. It's the lifeline of the business, the cash flow. So advertise more. I think Hormozi says this in his book as well. I think it's $100 million leads. He says it. You spend the first 4 hours of your day advertising. So whether it's cold outreach, warm outreach, advertising, ads, content, whatever it is, pick one and do it. In terms of agency, you can stack it. So do content, do outreach. Try and get as creative as possible in your outreach, because there's a lot of AI slop out there in terms of, hey, I really liked your post on LinkedIn and it was so cool that you did that. Anyways, how do you feel about getting 5 to 10 extra clients? Like, come on. This is AI slop. You had some bot scan my LinkedIn profile, and now you're sending me DM. Don't be a pussy and give me a cold call. How's that? Give me a cold call. I would much rather appreciate a cold call than some AI slop garbage message in my inbox. So any of you cold email gurus out there, at least send a Loom with your email. If I see somebody saying, oh, I really liked your last LinkedIn post, I know that shit is AI slop. Anyways, so cold outreach does work at scale, but building brand and running ads compounds over time, right? Ads, you get instant gratification. Content builds over years of time, but it compounds. I started making content like a year ago, and I've already been seeing some clients come through the door just because of content. So they've likely been watching your content for like months, and they decide to pull the trigger when they're ready, when they've built up enough trust with you, right? And so that happens while you're sleeping, which is great, but it does take a lot of work, and you got to post very often. And it's surprising to me how many business owners don't utilize content. There will be these business owners that have been there, same position for 20 years, hitting the fucking dialer and never utilizing content. Social media has only been a thing for like 10, 15 years. But content is such an accessible way to advertise nowadays. And anybody who doesn't use it is missing out. Everybody has social media, but most aren't willing to use it for what it's actually for, which is making content. When I go into most of the profiles, it's somebody with their dog, or somebody went on a vacation. Okay, that's great, but why don't you use content to make money?